Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. Cabby succumbs after being shot in standoff with cop. A taxi driver has died in hospital after being shot during a confrontation with a police officer in downtown Kingston on Thursday. The deceased has been identified as 44-year-old Sean Fennell of Rumble Lane in Kingston. Fennell, a popular cabby, reportedly operated the Harborview to Kingston route. Reports are that 11 a.m., Fennell was traveling in the North Parade section of a commercial district when the police officer signaled him to stop. The cabby allegedly failed to obey the cop before attempting to use his vehicle to hit the officer. The lawman reportedly then opened fire, hitting the driver and a female passenger who were then rushed to hospital. Fennell succumbed at the hospital. The condition of the injured passenger is not known at this time. Police say party promoters becoming more skillful.
Every time they've gotten very creative. So they exploit technology, they use community network to hide these events. So they go into some more remote locations that under normal circumstances they would not be going there. And without the police having direct information about it, then they certainly would not find these places.
She revealed that during the No Movement days, over 192 persons were arrested for breaching the curfew. SSP Lindsay says people have been attending silent parties where promoters utilize technology so that the police do not hear the loud music.
We have another set of persons now who set up their network of lookouts. So once the police get into this zone, then they would call, and before you will get the call, oh, there's a party happening there, something is happening. But when you get there, it's an empty venue.
Staff at Black River Hospital grieving death of colleague from COVID. The staff at the Black River Hospital has been plunged into mourning following Thursday morning's death of their colleague who was battling COVID-19. The deceased woman worked in the dietary department and had been admitted to the facility's COVID ward for about a week. She is believed to be in her late 50s. The facility's chief executive officer, Diana Brown Miller, reported that counseling has been ongoing for the grieving staff, especially for the dietary department. I know this morning the news came just at the time breakfast was to be prepared. That was delayed. It delayed everything going forward, she said. We had a counseling session with them this morning, she added. 23-year-old Kamari Miles laid to rest. 23-year-old Kamari Miles was on Thursday laid to rest at the Dovecot Memorial and Crematory in St. Catherine. Miles, who was a manager at a business process outsourcing company Embarks, was gunned down on Friday, June 11 at his home on Salke Avenue in Duane Park, St. Andrew. About 8:10, residents reported they heard Miles screaming out for help. Immediately after, they heard loud explosions. Reports from the Hunt Bay Police are that about 8:10, Miles was found in a pool of blood. Miles was remembered by family, friends, and past schoolmates from Calabar High School as industrious and jovial. O'Neill Miles, his older brother, reported that the support shown at the funeral has comforted the family through its grief. Government embarks on major vaccination drive in the West.
First stop was in Hanover yesterday.
It's about promoting the community-based response to COVID-19 and the vaccines. We have a number of locations, people are coming out. The Prime Minister is in St. Thomas doing the same thing. And this is now a major push towards a community-based vaccination program where we're taking the vaccines to the people. I want to encourage all Jamaicans. Hospital full, people are dying. The vaccine is the safest response to COVID-19. So please, go out and take your vaccines.
Several left jobless as fire destroys furniture shop in Kingston. Several persons are out of a job following a fire of unknown origin that destroyed a building said to be an upholstery shop along Walton Park Road, Kingston on Thursday. Reports are that about 10:30 a.m., firefighters received a call from residents in Walton Park who saw smoke coming from the building. Firefighters said they responded, and after several hours, they were able to bring the fire under control. 3 units, 1 from Trenchtown and 2 from York Park, responded to the distress call. There are reports that several persons were left suffering from respiratory issues because of the smoke from the blaze. Reports are a number of persons who were employed at the furniture shop has been left without a job. Different reactions to renewed lockdown measures.
Early days, but that is giving us some hope that these measures are working and it has worked so far. So we look forward to this continued restrictions, and we're hoping that persons will ensure to follow the rules.
Head of the micro, small and medium-sized enterprise, Donovan Wignall, also supports the government's decision.
With the positivity rate being as it is, it did not yield enough success for them to relax the measures. I'm really happy that they did not go a little bit more aggressive on the measures.
In the meantime, Dr. Fitzhenley wants something to be done to address the issue of overcrowding at food establishments across the island after the lockdowns are lifted. She says it's counterproductive.
At the business establishments, especially, I think they need to try and ensure that the physical distancing can be ensured there, because there's no sense in, having persons restricted a few days before and then immediately afterwards, you're overpopulated in certain areas. That's nonsensical at this point.
Warrant issued for Popcorn's arrest after artist missed court. A bench warrant has been issued for the arrest of dancehall artist Popcorn after he failed to show up in the Yala's traffic court in St. Thomas on Thursday. However, the warrant was stayed until November 4, when the artist is next to appear in court. If he fails to show up for the latest court date, the warrant for his arrest will be executed. Popcorn last appeared in court on June 3rd when he pleaded not guilty to a slew of traffic charges, including operating an unlicensed motor vehicle, driving without insurance or fitness, no fixed registration plate, driving without a helmet, and careless driving. Popcorn is represented by Matthew Hyatt. The 32-year-old artist, whose real name is Andre Sutherland, was charged in late April after the police intercepted his 9-vehicle convoy in St. Thomas. Suspected hitman slapped with 4 murder charges. More could be coming. A suspected hitman has been charged with multiple murders that occurred in the Kingston Western Police Division. The suspect has been named Eton Thompson, a 20-year-old laborer of Walker's Avenue in Gregory Park, Portmore, St. Catherine. Reports are that about 3:20 p.m. on Friday, January 15, 2021, Thompson was allegedly among a group of men who opened gunfire, killing Jermaine Lawson, otherwise called Flash, Mark Nation, otherwise called Coolface, and Anthony Barnett, otherwise called Little T. Thompson was shot and injured in the St. Andrew South Police Division on Sunday, August 15. Upon arrival at hospital, he reportedly gave his name as Andrew Thompson of Spanish Town Road, Kingston 13 address. However, early information received by investigators led them to the hospital, where Thompson was placed under police guard. After being discharged, he was placed on an identification parade where he was pointed out. Following an interview with investigators, he was charged with Wednesday, September 1 by detectives assigned to the Major Investigations Division, MID. The charges are 3 counts of murder and illegal possession of firearm. Thompson is to appear in the St. Andrew Parish Court on Thursday, September 16, to answer to the charges that have been laid against him. Additionally, he was charged by detectives from the Kingston Western Division with murder and illegal possession of firearm in relation to the Wednesday, May 26, 2021 shooting death of Patrick Dixon on Lincoln Road, Kingston. Reports are that Dixon was standing on the roadway when armed men alighted from a motor car and opened gunfire, hitting him. The court date for this matter has not yet been finalized. Detectives across multiple police divisions are now coordinating their efforts and information about multiple other killings, as Thompson is suspected to have figured in other homicides. Manchester man charged with murder after allegedly being caught with victim's phone. A Manchester man has been charged with murder after a cell phone belonging to the victim was found in his possession nearly 3 months after the May 31 killing. Charged is 29-year-old Ricardo Kennedy, otherwise called Ricky of Christiana. Reports are that on May 30th, 67-year-old Dwayne Wallace, otherwise called Jackie Wallace, also of Christiana, and Kennedy were at a bar in the area when Wallace spoke about a quantity of money that he had. The police said a day later, Wallace's home was ransacked and his body later found with multiple stab wounds. On Wednesday, August 11, Kennedy was arrested after he was found in possession of Wallace's cell phone. Kennedy was charged on Wednesday, September 1. PAHO warns only 1 in 4 people in Latin America and the Caribbean fully vaccinated against COVID-19. Pan American Health Organization PAHO Director Dr. Carrizo warned that 75% of the population in Latin America and the Caribbean has not yet been vaccinated fully against COVID-19 and reported that her agency is accelerating its drive to expand vaccine access throughout the region. 3/4 of people in Latin America and the Caribbean have not been fully immunized, she said during her week media briefing on Wednesday. More than a third of countries in our region have yet to vaccinate 20% of their populations, and in some places, coverage is much lower. Vaccination rates remain in the teens in several Caribbean and South American countries, and coverage is still in the single digits in Central American nations like Guatemala, Honduras, and Nicaragua, she stated. In Haiti and Venezuela, fragile health system and political challenges have further delayed immunizations. Fortunately, countries with high coverage are the exception in our region, the PAHO director emphasized. She said that in total, 540 million COVID-19 vaccine doses must be delivered to ensure that all countries in Latin America and the Caribbean can cover at least 60% of their populations. So, we must expand vaccine access in our region, especially in places that are lagging, she said. In response to the shortage, PAHO has launched a fresh drive for donations. Dr. Carissa stated that the organization is working to draw the attention of developed countries to the urgent need to donate vaccines to Latin America and the Caribbean. In addition, PAHO is using its revolving fund to procure vaccine for member states. Already, PAHO has received requests from 24 countries for COVID-19 vaccines, which will be available in the final quarter of this year and into 2022. We are also thinking ahead and making plans to significantly improve regional vaccine manufacturing capacity, the doctor further stated. Just late last week, we launched a new platform that convenes partners around a shared vision of boosting state-of-the-art vaccine production in Latin America and the Caribbean. The first initiative under the platform is to facilitate the transfer to the region of the mRNA vaccine technology used in a highly effective COVID-19 vaccines. PAHO has received 32 proposals from private and public companies that want to participate in the endeavor. Dr. Carissa urged countries to prioritize the most vulnerable for the vaccine, such as the elderly, healthcare workers, and those living with pre-existing conditions. Countries should make sure that logistics system can absorb vaccine doses and cold chains can keep them cool, and that health systems are ready to deliver doses fast once they arrive. While vaccination rates are low in Latin America and the Caribbean, many countries are experiencing a rapid rise in COVID-19 infections. In the Caribbean, St. Lucia and Puerto Rico are reporting high rates of new infections, while Jamaica is still experiencing its highest ever COVID deaths. Outbreaks are accelerating in multiple Central American countries, especially Costa Rica and Belize. In South America, infections are generally declining, with a few exceptions. In total, over 1.6 million new COVID-19 cases and just under 22,000 deaths were reported in the Americas in the past week. Turning to the continuing crisis in Haiti, where an earthquake struck on August 14, Dr. Carissa reported that most hospitals are overwhelmed and many health facilities have been damaged. We have injured people in remote communes who are still without medical attention because they can't reach health centers or hospitals, she stated. PAHO has deployed 27 tons of medicines as well as several specialists to support field coordination, cluster organization, emergency projects, logistics, and EMT coordination. PAHO is also working closely with the Ministry of Public Health and Population to help coordinate international aid. We need more medical personnel, medicines, and medical supplies. Another need is psychosocial support for healthcare personnel and the people affected by this earthquake. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.